And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're now moving ahead to our next session. Let's talk about, scheduled at 12 o'clock Indian Standard Time, we're looking at talking about AI for auditors, practical tools for the smarter auditing. Now let's get into the practical use set, and of course we're elated that we have with us the CEO of NCS Limited, Mr. Shan Mugwell P, who's here. And of course, we also have the Chief Operating Officer of NCS, Asir Roy Dinesh, who's going to be joining us. Allow me an opportunity to just talk a little bit about Shan Mugwell, who's here, and of course, Mr. Asir. Our gentleman out here, of course, brings in more than 2 decades of industry experience in the financial services and his strong expertise in product innovation. He's currently focused on developing risk and governance solutions with predictive and AI capabilities. On the other side, Mr. Asir, who's joined us, is a results-oriented technical and functional expert, again with more than 2 decades of experience in dealing with the full range of IT services. I'm confident that with both our leaders here on stage, we'll be able to crack this topic with their expertise. So let's give them a big, big round of applause as we welcome them to the AI Conclave 2025. Over to you, gentlemen, to take it forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. It gives us a lot of pleasure to be here amongst all of you today. And I would like to especially thank the organizers, especially Mr. Narendra sir, for having us here and giving us an opportunity to present certain experience that we have had on the AA front, on the BFSI side. Thank you once again. And before we begin with the presentation, maybe we'll just give a glimpse of who we are, NCS Soft as such. NCS Soft is a solution provider on the audit and GRC space. And we have a good platform, and which has been patronized by more than 75% of the banks in India, which is something that we would like to take the pride on. So, thank you. So, starting humbly, and today we are grown to a little recognizable state, and thanks to our senior advisor who is here with us, Mr. Ashit Jain also, and Mr. Narendra sir, who is also helping us a lot on our sphere in this journey so far. And maybe I'll just hand over it to Vail to give a little more details on that, and then I'll take over. Thank you.
Your company is all in the public sector bank also?
Yes,
Thank you.
100% in the public sector banks. Everyone in the public sector are using us. Thank you.
Happy morning to all of you. So it is a pleasure to have all public sector bank and most of the private sector bank in South, except the Federal Bank, all are our customers. Okay, we have started with digitalization of the audit process. So we have started with the traditional audit. Then we have around 24 audit type. We have already digitalized the end-to-end solution, right from scheduling up to the audit closure. We are digitalizing end-to-end process. And, now we are upgrading the product. Right now also we have developed the AI solution, which partially implemented in couple of private sector bank, and the feedback is very encouraging. How the AI is, and right now the AI is going to play a role, whether we are accepting or not, but AI is going to be playing a major role in all the industry, across the industry. So we need to use the AI solution and benefit out of it, bringing the operational efficiency and market intelligence. So AI is playing many role in the upcoming years. So we have also focusing on that. Suppose as previous speaker said, the hype is very high. So we need to utilize that hype, and we can utilize that opportunity and move ahead. And it should be a mutual benefit for all of us. So that's why we are also upgrading our product through AI. So we will show you how we are upgrading our product, how we are in the industry going to benefit with the AI. Suppose we are bringing the operational gap and audit gap. Right now the audit is going on one direction, the operational going on the other side. How do you reduce the gap? So definitely the AI will reduce the gap. We will going to present. Thank you, Dinesh. Yes, please take.
Thank you, Will. So before we get into the actual use case, I would like to have a recap on what AI, the buzz that we have been speaking so far. And naturally, AI, as you all would rightly know, it is nothing but the ability of a computer to do tasks like a human, which could be on a learning scale, which could be on a problem solving, and on a decision making as well. So this is on a very, very macro level. And what is the kind of layers that we have in AI? Of course, yes, we have the AI is one big circle. Within that universe, we have certain things called ML, which is nothing but machine learning, which is going to help us on a very long way. And next, we have the deep learning, which is very specific in nature because that is where it is something like a general physician versus maybe an ortho or a specialist. So he is going to be a specialist and he's going to give decisions, make choices for us. And similarly, the next thing is you have the visual learning, which is now the latest, and you also have audio learning within that. So this helps us to recognize papers or maybe the images, differentiate between a cow or a cat or whatever it is. So helps us in taking certain other steps which humans would find it difficult to take. Yeah, with this background, so what is other types of AI that we have? As of now, we have AI with a narrow intelligence, which is precisely what is there available in the market as such. Your chat GPTs, everything is our narrow AI, narrow intelligence. So they could help us on a repetitive task, could help us recognize certain algorithms and take better decisions because they don't go on a very singular model, they go on a large scale model. And the next thing what the people are working on is the general intelligence, which is a little more like a human, wherein it is able to get the intelligence. And let's say, maybe if I would give an example, like say you are living in India, you have got all the expertise and you have how you can interact with the person. Supposing you have been moved on to an island where the language is all something different, but you'll have certain common traits. The people are going to eat, the people are going to have some dresses, and they have to do some safety net. They have to live in a house. So these are things that you can carry on, which the AI as of date cannot do, and which is being built on. The next thing is a super intelligence, which means being much, much more creative, something similar to godlike, wherein it can predict with a lot of accuracy. Those are things that people are right now not available in the market as such. So the first layer is what available for a user to consume today. So this is an important background for us to understand where we can use. Next thing is also, see, we are hearing buzzwords like AI, and it can be done. So the customer here, whomever we are interacting also thinks that when AI comes in, everything can be done. See, there are certain situations where it can be used, where there are certain situations it is not ideally supposed to be used. So I'm giving a distinction there. So there are problems like obvious problem statements. So wherein you know what the problem is and you know what is the solutions are. These are particularly similar to your FAQs, where you define the question and you also define the possible answers. So these are not the correct problem statements where AI can be used. These are the problem statements where you can have RPAs and stuff like that to be used. So, yeah. The next one comes as a complicated one, where precisely the problem statement is known again, but here the solution is not known. So wherein you'll have to do a lot of experiment, you'll have to do a lot of data crunching, you'll have to do whether this works or not, you'll try to do the fitment. So this requires a lot of effort and a lot of thinking. And this is where precisely AI models can be used as of today, because they do without fatigue and they can do it much, much more better, and they don't miss out on the details, which as humans we would do. We might overlook on certain details. So this is a precise problem statement where AI can be definitely put into use. So where are we coming into? There's now something else, something called complex, where we don't know what the requirement is, and naturally we would not know what the solution is. So this is where the humans play a very important role, and they'll continue to play a very important role in the coming future also, because this requires a lot of creativity, a lot of intelligence, a lot of IQ, which as of now our AI is not prone to have. Fine. With this context in place, I'll take you to the next thing, to audit. So before we get into audit, I would like to give you a landscape of what audit is, just to keep everyone in the same plane. I think most of them are into the BFSI side. So audit, as you all know, when I speak on a corporate level, it is not on an individual or small entity level. We are speaking on a big, large corporates or maybe large banks as such. Since we come from a banking background, I would be connecting more to the banking side. So excuse me for that. So we have to plan what we're going to audit. So that is where everything begins with. So planning, then you get to schedule things. Who is going to do what, and when he's going to do, and where he's going to do from, how is he going to do. All this comes into scheduling. Like I'm assigning an auditor. I need to first know what I'm going to audit, when I'm going to audit, what is the frequency I'm going to do the audit, what items am I going to do audit. So that comes as a part of my planning. And next is scheduling, where who's going to do it, and what items is he going to do it, and when is he going to do it, and what is the duration within which he is going to do it. All this comes as a part of the planning. Now we have AI models which can help us precisely on all these items, because this is a very monotonous task that has been happening from the key management senior level or maybe in the HO level. So wherein they try to look at who is where. When you have an organization which is spread across the globe or maybe spread across all the geography of India, who is going to go from here to there, and when is all the itinerary, everything can be managed by the system automatically. Next thing is sampling, which is, see your plant, who's going to go over there, and when it's going to do, what is the duration, everything you're done. But ultimately, human have a limited time period, and you can't do 100%. So these are the limiting factors when it comes to our auditing. So you need to choose the right samples for him to identify whether it is correct or not. So that again requires a lot of intelligence, wherein system can pick up the right samples for him and suggest that these are the items that you will have to look into and go about on your audit. So, and today with the advent of AI, this sampling is also getting eliminated. It is going to be 100% always, so that you have the precise data, the precise output and the inference, not rather than by swayed away by your sampling methodology. And next thing, of course, is the audit operations, the physical or the system-driven audit. So that is where actually you're identifying what is anomalies or maybe what is the problems there, what is the non-conformities that is happening in the system. Is it happening based on your policies? Is it happening based on the statutory, the compliance points? Is it taken care rightly or wrongly? Where are the deviations? Everything getting knocked out over there. So next thing, okay, you found out all the risks. You found out all the problems. How do I translate that into risk? So that is the next, the calculations takes place. So you need to ultimately identify whether, see, I've come over here, I've investigated something. Is it okay, or is it satisfactory, or is it better? Is it doing better? So you need to come into some understanding from after an audit. So you might translate that into a number-based, giving them some scores and giving it they are low risk, they are high risk, or come into some kind of an word representation. So that the system automatically is there to help you out. The next thing comes as a report release. So once you are able to do your audit, make your observations, do a risk rating, then comes up your report release, because this report release is going to help the management understand what is your findings are, and the next step is to go about on the compliance front, the rectification part. So because the people whom you have audited, they'll have to rectify and have it corrected so that the risk gets reduced naturally. And next, the rectification part gets it. So that doesn't workflow as such, because they'll rectify it and submit back to the auditor, and then the auditor may accept it or reject it, or say about going about saying, I need a little more supporting informations to have that, say that I have closed it. So next is the report closure. Once all the points are rectified, next is the report closure. So this is a cycle that happens day in and day out, maybe in a branch level.
One question.
Yep.
The rectification cycle.
Yeah.
The extent of rectification.
Yeah.
And the satisfactory level of the rectification.
Yeah.
Can the AI monitor that properly?
Yes, it does. It does. It
Means from the human judgment, in a perfect, we say, if it is fully properly developed, then AI-enabled judgment, because you have to close. Next is a closure. So there, sometimes we bankers used to find the closure has been done without proper rectification, and it can be next time also repetitive. So there, that the system or in relation to the people taking that in a totally perfect way, So our AI should be enabled in proper, what you call, judgment of rectification.
Sure. In all these steps, stages, AI has a role to play, and it is doing it. And similarly, as you rightly pointed out, sir, on the report, on the rectification front, the AI is able to read the data, which humanly is not possible. Let's say there are 1,000 rectification that is coming per day.
Because generally bias is there. So that bias can be taken if the AI is done the work properly.
True.
Yes, sir. The AI, if the insurance document is not available, the AI will read the insurance document, whether it's available or not. Then it is a proper document, and it is all.
Even in the insurance sector.
Yeah, and also it will match the insurancer name and the date insurance. Everything will AI will do, sir. In the efficient way, the AI will replace the.
Yeah, that is the one area I inform you that insurance, somewhere we have collected lower premium, somewhere we have paid higher amount, what you call the settlement. Now the regulator wants all that to be either you should not collect lower also, you should not collect more also, nor you pay more. So through the AI model, total AI, there are people also or organizations. Your insurance has a very big role to play there. AI.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Yeah, please.
See, it also I have certain use cases following up, which will be helping you on answering those questions as well. So, so why AI matters in auditing? See, the challenges in auditing, as I rightly told you, is the volume, the frequency, and the complexity, and the fraud, risk, and the dynamic. See, through AI, we will be in a position to speed up, we'll be in a position to keep up the scale, and we'll be in a position to keep it precise. Plus also, we also do something called a pattern recognition, which otherwise in the humanly is not possible. So these are things that helps the management as well as the stakeholders all in place. So here are certain use cases that I would like to showcase here. So anomaly identification, which is the most vital item from an AI aspect on the audit front. So it identifies outliers. See, outliers typically we are doing as of now on a rule based, which means as an example I could tell you is that a guy who normally doesn't withdraw 10,000 rupees on an ATM withdraws 10,000 rupees. So you would get a rule that anybody who is withdrawing more than 10,000 or maybe a lakh from ATM has to be showcased as an outlier. But there could be a guy who frequently does it. He also comes into the same bracket. And if you're going to call him or hold his card or stop his card from getting used, it's going to be troublesome. So this is what we call as false positives. So we would like to really look at what is the true positives. So AI basically looks at his pattern and looks at his history and try to eliminate that, showcase him as of a problem, anomaly. Instead, it tries to eliminate that guy and show only the right people so that your attention is only with that a few set of people instead of trying to have a whole gamut which is not correct. And similarly, suspicious transactions. And we also look at map to different business systems. Almost around 200 business systems exist in any defined big organization. So it can map with all those systems, try to collate, speak to them. See, a guy may be absent today, but still a transaction is happening in his name, which means otherwise you will not be in a position flag off until you have an access to the HRM system, identify whether it's logged in at this time or not. So these are the systems which AI can do it and help you eliminate the wrong items and only look at the right items so that you will be able to get the results that you desire. And of course, it can also give you a lot of visual representation, which otherwise you'll have to depend on your developers to do. So you can supply the data to it and you can ask in the visual format that you want. It will be in a position to give you in a jiffy. But of course, there are certain drawbacks. You may not be in a position to drill down and look at it. It will give you only the skeleton. Next, the other important thing is the behavioral analytics. See, this is silently played. This has been not been focused so far in the market, but wherein this AI has a lot of role to play. The guy is logging in, so what is the usual pattern? And why is he looking at the report that he's not supposed to look at? And why is he trying to do certain activities which in his role is not something? So these are things that the system looks into and also flags off as a behavioral thing. So these are items that AI has a lot of role to play. And next is a continuous audit. So this, as I rightly told you, there is not going to be any frequency driven. It is going to be continuous. So day in and day out, you will be getting, look at the data that you have and analyze and present it to you where the risk is. So we have something called a dynamic risk, which it has been driven by AI, wherein we have umpty number of parameters through which it will be in a position to immediately flag off. Let's say there's a quick mortality happening, suddenly there's a spike. There's a spike in business, which normally doesn't have to, in a business entity, which will be known only after maybe 10 months or maybe 7 months, where immediately, yesterday the business has started, today we'll be in a position to know, and maybe if required, we can initiate a surprise audit. Go over there and have a look at why is he having so much of gold loans taking place over there. So all those kind of things can be done. It is all AI enabled. And similarly, the AI also we have trained certain models which can look at anomalies like prohibited items. Precisely since we touched upon the gold loan, see there are certain things that we are not supposed to pledge, and wherein institution that is opening left and right loans, let's say 10,000 or 20,000 loans a day, it is humanly not possible to identify those prohibited items are part of the ones that is getting pledged, wherein AI can do that. And we also have certain AI items that is already in place which could, see we are also enrolling people. New accounts are getting opened remotely. No more people are going to visit to the branch and getting it open. So which means the videos have been captured and they have been uploaded and the agents right royally go opening the accounts. They are incentivized for that. So which means they might overlook certain aspects and might open an account for a person who they are not supposed to open. So how do I look at all this? So the system on the background, we have an AI engine which can get all the data, what all accounts have been opened and what are the videos that has come in. It processes those videos, looks at, hey, this guy has been prompted. He is not actually the one who is speaking. There's somebody from background who's answering all the questions for him. And the same person might have changed his dress and would have been sitting in a different environment and would have been providing the same kind of details and opening an account in a different scale. And the background could be the same, and there'll be 100 people who are opening the account. How is this humanly possible to identify these kind of anomalies? Wherein AI does it, and it helps you in fulfilling what your business intentions are, thereby eliminating these kind of false propagandas. And yeah. Next, of course, the document and image verification. So as I told you, on the video front, it is doing it, so it can also process and look at all the videos, plus the images, plus the documents, and it will be in a position to give you all the anomalies or maybe where the truth is not been over there. One useful information what I could tell you is that in the gold loan there is another possible use case, that is farmers or maybe the agriculturalists tend to get a little better rates than the usual retailers. So for that, they will have to submit a document whether they are a farmer, a proof of document, which is they will have to upload a farm document. Which for the, let's say if a manager has some collusion with the people over there, you could always upload the same document to all the vendors who will come and pass on the benefits to them. How will the system identify that? The system now today has a capability of identifying all this kind of anomalies because the same document has been uploaded. It could be on the same branch, it could be on a different branch as well. If this has been uploaded, and so there is some collusion that is taking place. You have to find it out how. And next, this is the most vital item in the AI, which humanly is not at all possible as of now, because it requires, see, when I say it is not possible, it is, I am trying to tell you, based on the infrastructure investment that you will have to incur. It might be possible if you have 100 or 1,000 people deployed who are looking at all this monotonously, which may not be commercially viable. Wherein with the AI currently, we can do that with a fraction of a cost and with a much, much efficient manner. Of course, patterns, it can recognize a lot of patterns, how it's happening. A guy who was in a previously fraud-ridden branch or maybe fraudulent entity is getting transferred to another particular thing. He might have a certain pattern. System can observe it and it can automatically give you an early warning so as to this is happening. So these are areas where we can do it. I slowly would be running out of time. Okay. So then it can also expose the control weakness. See, you do an audit, you find out there are certain exceptions that has happened. And what is it exposing to you? Is it exposing the human factor? Is it exposing the control that you have put in place that they shouldn't be happening is happening? So it also exposes the controls implementation weakness. The design might have been better, but the implementation has been flawed. So all those kind of things at one go, the system will be in a position to expose it to you. And of course, the fraud detections. And any collision indicators also as a part of the byproduct that we get as a part of all these inferences. I think with this, I'll conclude. And it supports largely on the decision-making front, and it gives you a better governance, better grip, and it uses intelligent escalation mechanisms. And it can also do a lot of unstructured data crunching, which helps you on the sentiment analysis, where are we heading to. Friends, this is the last statement that I would like to give you. AI is definitely something that is inevitable, and it is your professional companion. Take it that way, and we'll all grow and win this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any question?
Yeah. Hi, sir. It's Kurupesh here. Very good presentation. And my question is, how this AI model is going to address the problem of data drift? Because audit depends on a data pipeline. So how you're going to take the data drift? You know, the model is trained for something else, and something changes. So how is going to handle that?
See, that is also part of one of the training with the AI, because see, the business parameters keep changing. Today I may have a loan account with 20 fields. Tomorrow the dynamics is that I may have another 2 more fields added up. But there is something called, if you come into the technical terms, it could be like your what I can say, the data map, or maybe the data dictionary, which would define what this particular field is for used, the purpose, so the system can educate itself and try to look at the relevance and automatically start you consuming that and giving me the patterns.
Okay.
Did I answer you?
Yeah, because you know, if you are not doing it, then the false positive rate will increase substantially.
Exactly, yes.
So what has been the rate of false positive in this auditing?
See, one interesting, there are two I would like to tell you. One is on the NPA front, and also on the false positive front. It depends on the exception that you're looking into. So if I go to an exception, the false positives are reduced by almost 95%. Okay, and which is on a very mature level, which means I have a lot of data.
Right.
On the NPA front, we did one workaround. We found that interesting. We looked at a back data, and we found that the system found out around 15% of the data to be NPA for the next 1 year. And when we took a backdated data. It is all on audit finding. And when we found out after 8 months, almost around out of the 15%, there were around 40% who had actually become an NPA. There are around 60% which the system couldn't predict as an NPA, but that was only for today. But when we looked at after 8 months, out of that, another 25% had actually become NPA. So we had a really good system that is coming back.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
thanks.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Last one, no? Time hai?
Actually, the time is up, but we'll take one final
Yes,
question.
Question that time. Okay.
Is it okay if we can go ahead with your question later, or you have one concise? Okay.
Bataiye.
But just one question,
I
not
have a
two.
very different question. So you've developed AI tool for doing the audit. Can it do a backward integration where the business teams are required to submit humongous data for the auditor to start working on audit? So is there a tool available or technology available where by default you come to the office and you have a schedule for audit and the teams don't need to do anything, you are able to extract the data from the LOS and LMS, start doing the audit?
Yes, very much we do that.
You do?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
It is a-
Answer is yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Thank you.
it exists. Thank
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank both our leaders for joining us. Let's give them a big, big round of applause from NCS. Asir and Shanmugavel, thank you so much. May we request Mr. Subbu to please join us, Director Growth of Finarken, to please join us in giving a token of appreciation to our leaders. If you've enjoyed their conversation and learned something new, I think let's continue encouraging them with a big round of applause. Well, it's all happening at the AI Conclave 2025 by NCube Collaborations, and we're just done with our session on AI for auditors, practical tools for smarter auditing. Once again, a big thank you to both our speakers for joining in.